Prizes.
Howdy folks and welcome back. We're here for the fourth, I believe, iteration of the Melbourne Vintage League. We're definitely number 5.
We're at number 5 now, yes.
Long way going through. We've got 5 of these leagues gone down and we're down to our top 4. These guys have faced 8 rounds of Swiss, the top 8 obviously, and into the top 4. We've got 3 mainstays who have been here with us from the start, and Jade Hall Kelly, who's joined us. I believe this is his first league.
Yep, and tell you what, he kept everyone on his toes, I reckon the entire league.
Yeah, it's been a great round thus far. We've got 2 blue decks and 2 shops decks here tonight. It's going to be an amazing matchup. We do actually have shops versus blue, but they're very different.
Yeah, 2 blue decks. It's one way to say it. We've got combo, well, Belcher, and shops, yeah, typical shops deck these days, I suppose, the aggro shops. But then our first game is Dan versus...
As Jimbo versus Dan.
Yes.
So Dan Dowse, well known in the Melbourne area. He's definitely used to playing the mono red shops variant back from about 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just keeps going, and
he's won a lot with it too. It's I think he's won this league once. Yes, with this exact deck, I believe. So
he's a very experienced pilot. He knows what he's doing, and he knows all the different interactions, particularly with Goblin Welder there. That's going to be a big part of his ability to handle with Ben Hawk if they do both progress through to the final.
Yeah, that'd be very interesting to watch.
The mono red list, not usually seen.
It's not popular anymore, but with the presence of things like Dak Vaden and stuff taking all the things away from it, it's probably harder to play these days. But
no, it's also, but you also have a lot more answers. You're able to answer the other shops decks. You're able to use the Pulverize, the Goblin Welders. You can use your own Viashino Heretics to give you a leg up in the mirror, and especially if you can see coming out of the Vintage Championships, a lot more shops decks. And the aggro decks also are on the rise, and just being able to play more creatures and be more disruptive is also in the red shops.
I'm starting to feel sorry for Combo.
Yeah, he's got a particularly tough draw ahead of him, Jade. He's obviously on the mono-blue Belcher list. Gitaxian Probes, Force of Wills, Pact of Negations all get a lot worse in the face of Spheres.
Yeah. Yep, and Chalices. I believe even Jimbo playing Chalices probably doesn't really give him much of a leg up, but I'm sort of rooting for it. I just want to see it do well in this kind of a environment.
That's all right. What we have in front of us is Dan Dowse, as we said, on the mono-red list, and Jimbo Dowling, as those who may know him on the Drain or Eki. He's playing the answer, so this is the big list that came out of Europe and has kind of been popularized over the last few months.
What's it called? The answer, or is we going with Blue Moon?
Oh, Blue Moon was more the modern equivalent. So that was the big mana.
You know what? I hope you know something about the deck, because all I know is it plays Consecrated Sphinx, Chalice at 1, I think is his main game plan, and Blood Moon. So my experience in playing against the deck, or even playing with the deck, is next to nil. So I'm very intrigued to watch it. Really intrigued to watch it. And Goblin Welder attacking. Okay.
Now, Dan here was on the play, so he's obviously led with the Welder, and Jimbo's not been able to answer it. That's kind of a big threat, because it means that anything that Dan wants to cast and Jimbo would want to counter normally, is he can just get it back whenever he wants.
Is this cracking with fetch in response to anything, or is this just
no, it looks like he's just ended the turn.
Yeah, okay, just ended the turn, got a basic land. Okay, so Welder's probably went sideways then. Okay.
Now, the mono-red list coming out of Dan is, I believe, using the full power. It is not the Mox Ruby Lotus only version. It is using all 5 Moxen. He's obviously ramping up to the Smokestacks and Khans, which are really the highlight besides the Goblin Welders that differentiate that list from the other versions.
Actually, I'm really intrigued to see what happens post-board in this game. Does Jimbo only plays the 2 Dax, but then he has things like Venetia Heretic in the sideboard, I believe, and Ingot Chewers.
Yeah, he's got 3 Ingot Chewer and 1 Viashino Heretic. He said earlier that he was playing. He was definitely hoping that the 3 Ingot Chewers would be enough to get him out of the early game and let Viashino Heretic really take over after that.
Was that Chalice at 0, is it? And Blood Moon.
Blood Moon, the Chalice at 0, not really harming Dan at any way. It's just allowing the Academy to tap for 1 mana, allowing Blood Moon out. Now, Dan being mono red, Blood Moon doesn't hurt him as much as it otherwise would, and it does keep Jimbo off drain.
Yes.
Which is an important thing you might see here.
Yes. Sorry, I didn't even notice that. And of course, Dan's just played his 3rd mountain in a strip mine.
The Crucible strip mine lock, obviously very good.
Well,
if he can somehow get rid of...
Can the shops list even get rid of a Blood Moon?
Yes, he can very easily just put a 4th land and get a Smokestack.
Smokestacks, yep. Of course, that would require a bit of Goblin Welders.
Now, having multiple welders out is going to be very tricky for Jimbo to deal with. Just being able to remove anything that's in play. He can swap things around that are going to be destroyed. For example, a lodestone, he can get it back. Or he can swap it out and get it back again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, then, yep. So we've got... Is this a Thirst for Knowledge?
No, this is a Trinket Mage.
Oh, see, they changed the artwork too much. It is Trinket Mage. Okay. What would you go for?
He's probably going...
Engineered Explosives.
So the Engineered at 1 is a fine play, going to get rid of both welders.
Yeah. That's the obvious thing to do.
Well, there's no reason to put it at 0, it's the only thing. And 3 would get rid of his own Blood Moon, which is obviously something he doesn't want to happen.
That's right. There we go. Actually, Jimbo is one of the more enjoyable people to watch play with Engineered Explosives. He certainly showed me a couple of tricks with it.
Good morning, Sophus. I remember we've had you before for the Vintage Masters about a couple of months ago. Glad to have you back on the stream.
Yes, welcome. It's nice to see that we have some internationals watching.
That's all good. I managed to put up a tweet at the very last second, just before we went live, so hopefully we'll get a couple more people.